So I wanted to make a little video about gratitude in the sense of the age we live in. Again, talking about getting a message out there. I'm reminded about where I get information from across my lifetime. Of course, it's a different generation. I want to talk about that a little bit, but the biggest thing is, you have this internet. It's crazy. And you go on there and you're exposed to the greatest movers, not shakers, but thinkers and people who are bringing light to darkness and bringing love to the void and all of these amazing things. This could be the big guy Joe Rogan, right? The people he has come through, whether it's for entertainment or for information. It's startling information. The Tom Bilyeu, I think is his last name, Tom Bilyeu. The people he has come on, the concepts he covers. This guy, Diary of a CEO, Stephen something. There's obviously old school guys, Tony Robbins and all these cats. It's the gifts they're giving just of their time. Who cares if they make money, whatever. These guys have been doing it 20, 30 plus years sometimes, maybe 40. And they just give of themselves, and we have access to the information in this age. And you have to be thankful. Again, people younger than me consider that there used to not be YouTube, obviously, TV on demand, we'll call that. There was no internet. Imagine the ramifications of that. There was no computers. I think I might have talked about that in a video where I'm in 5th grade and I'm introduced to the computer for the first time, and you're in there an hour typing away some nonsense to make the screen change color. And you look back at that, 40-something years ago, and you're like, geez, what a time we live in. It may be the best time for civilization up to this point. As odd as that may sound, looking at the shit that is projected into the world via social media and all that other stuff. I'm not even going to give it credence because, again, whatever you water in the garden becomes, it grows. I'm not going to water those weeds. So it's in the giving that these folks are doing, and they offer, what they offer is life. That's the breath of life, akin to, women bear life. They create life literally through their body as if it was some portal, right? There's a human being on some other side, and they're the portal, and life comes through them. That's amazing. Men do not do that. They maybe have the discretion, I guess, on when or where life is to be created, perhaps, but they create life in different ways. I think that's by breathing life into what is. Maybe they create art, architecture, whatever they do. And again, a lot of these podcast TV shows on YouTube are men speaking about things. Maybe that's how it works. Women create life and men create everything else that is not that type of actual human life, right? That creation, as it were. It's just amazing. I'm sinking down in my chair here. Hang on. And so, where are people getting that life from these days is the big question. They're getting a lot of anti-life, as I might call it easily, just as a quick aside. Maybe they go to a church. Maybe they're getting great information. Maybe they're involved in some secular community thing. And maybe they're on the interwebs, right? Maybe they're on here getting some great stuff. And there's a lot of great stuff on the internet, and a lot of garbage, obviously, as human nature will dictate. You're going to get every level of consciousness, no matter what platform people are using. So, no matter which of these people, and I like to call them, they're like nexuses of information. There's that unmanifested world. This person brings it into the manifested world. As some people like those terms, they're useful. So these people are nexuses there. The plural in Latin be nexi. I guess these Joe Rogans, etc., are like nexi of information. It's the meeting point. Things come through there. And what a world we live in like that. And it doesn't really matter who you like. The fact that you're getting inspiration, good information from somewhere, where you're getting it. Again, the metaphor of ice cream. Everybody likes ice cream, but we're not going to agree on the same flavor. So maybe somebody likes a Tony Robbins and somebody follows somebody else. It doesn't really matter, because you're never going to say that chocolate's the best flavor and vanilla, and you're wrong because of that flavor. And some days you just feel like different flavors, right? You go in one day and it's chocolate. And you go in the next day, it's Rocky Road, the next day it's strawberry. I think that people and information are like that when you're trying to expand your consciousness and get your message out. And that's my point, is be exposed to these people that already are getting messages out. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Everyone's got a preference. There's no judgment necessary. So, whether it's these guys or Theo Vaughn, he's got comedians on, or me, you're listening to this stuff now, it doesn't even matter. It's all gold. And then, I was talking to a couple of people about services to create your web page and all this stuff. And it's amazing the amount out there. If you just begin to look, type it into Google AI, whatever you got to do. You have, ClickFunnels or Beehive, where you can have a web page plus emailing stuff plus video links. It doesn't even make sense in our day and age that you can get a message out there so easily. You got to put a little time in. But the second biggest point of this video, is the long form content concept. I think after my generation, being Gen X, you have Millennial and Gen Z, or Gen D as some people call it, whatever. It's all bullshit in the end. It's just people exposed to different things. But one thing that those generations, even mine, looked for was the shortcuts and now they call them life hacks and cheat codes and all this stuff. And I just want to urge you to, certainly that's a nice foot in the door for change, but it's long form content that is really the gold, because that is the process of true change, meaning you don't read a list of 10 things and suddenly life's different. You look at content, read things over perhaps years, and you become transformed. So, top 10 lists and cheat codes and these summaries completely defeat the purpose of what you're actually trying to accomplish in your life and getting a message out. What you need is what we call slow food, right? It's the opposite of fast food, where some person who really cares is preparing it and taking their time and using magical, great ingredients that are not industrialized. And there's a process to bring that food into the light, and you can feel it, taste it. Food like that has a different energetic beingness. Geez, that reminds me of that movie, like Water for Chocolate or something, where the people were in a horrible point in their life and lost loves or something, and the people that ate the food began to cry, and it was just interesting stuff. But it's just the metaphor we're saying for slow food, fast food, information that's slowly absorbed over these conversations that you are listening to for 2 and 3 hours can be magical, because all the nuances are there, the context, the emotionality, a lot of the questions and misnomers and non-facts are cleared up instantly on the spot by the two speakers, these podcast style things. So that period of transformation over long views, maybe it's 15 minutes, but whatever it is, it's not 5 seconds. You don't want to eat fast food for so many reasons. It's the same thing. Don't have fast brain food or whatever it's called. You don't know the source of it, the purpose of it. It's, one more metaphor is honestly the body cleanse, wherein you drink that stuff before a colonoscopy. Maybe you've had one of those. You're over 40, and they give you this stuff, for 24 hours. And it cleans you out, and then they can go in there. There's nothing in the intestine. But that's not a cleanse. That's just removing stuff. That's fast food. That's quick information. Whereas if you do the 30-day cleanse, where things are, natural, and it's slowly scraping the walls of the gut as a glacier might, right? You're removing what is in the mucus lining of the gut and all the carbonized pieces of food that are burnt, and microplastics and bacteria, protozoa, whatever's in there. You're slowly getting them out. Over 30 days, those interesting natural, hopefully, chemicals are entering the bloodstream and affecting you at a very deep level. So again, that's just one more metaphor for slow food, fast food, slow information, fast information, and the reality of transformation via such a process. And again, when you're looking to get your messages out there, don't think about it, a top 10 list. What are you just trying to make money? Is that what you're trying to do? I mean, where's the good in that, in helping mankind? It's very selfish. It's almost being a Judas, if you think about it. 30 silver pieces, I hand you over this guy. Spend time, energy, what you truly love, and that love energy will get out into videos, books, whatever you're creating. So please, be genuine and authentic in your message making, and people can latch onto that. I think that's what we find in those big names we mentioned earlier, all those podcasts and shows. They're really trying. They're really getting the nitty-gritty of life. So I wish you luck in following that angle and getting your message out there.
This is the reality of life on Earth. and this is an anomaly and it can end at any time. Prepare accordingly.